Is it worth being an owner-operator in 2026? Stick around and find out what I think about it. Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Over here, doing a pre-trip, making sure everything's right in this truck and trailer before I head out of here. Another day. Temperature feels a little bit better. You know, finally getting out of the negatives. Can't be mad at that. Figure drop a little video for y'all. Lights looking good. Straps are up there. Man, can't wait till winter's over. Working on this coal. It's no joke. And it's no good for the equipment. Hydraulics be taking forever to work. Instead of a couple minutes of opening up the trailer, it's taking 10. You know, when the hydraulic fluid get cold, it takes a long time. And I got two levels, you know, sections I should say. This first level, second level there. Then I got the gate, hydraulic gate back there for the ramp. But we make it work. Gotta make sure everything is copacetic with this truck. We don't want no issues on the road, especially running out here. These are the yards, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and stop at the station on the road before we get stepping. Let's get it. Just made it over here. Gonna go ahead and put some diesel to start my day. I got currently half a tank that I used yesterday. I hate this part right here. We typically have fuel at our yard. We got like an old little oil diesel truck that we get filled up, and you know, it's cheaper that way. However, the electric motor went down, so now we got to come to the local Gulf. As you can see, guy's pretty cool. We have a charge account with him. Use it as we please. He bills it out at the end of the month, whatever we use. But it's just a setback, you know. I usually fuel up in the evenings when I get back, but having to come here, I gotta come waste time before I go get my first set of cars, and today's gonna be a long day. So this little setback, it is what it is, you know. At least the weather feeling real good. It's currently 19 degrees, feeling like 35. Can't complain about that. Let me fuel up and check back in with y'all. $143 for a day of work. That's all I used yesterday. Filled up both tanks, so people know I, you know, 1 and 2. People know I don't bullshit. My last video, I told you guys about how much money I make, or the truck makes in a day. Now you can see how much it takes to make that money. This is typically how much fuel I use staying local. Alright, so I'm at my destination, about to load up 6 vehicles, but I figured before I load it up, I'll talk to you guys a little bit. You know, as you see the title of the video, I'm going to touch on the realities of being an owner-operator and if it's still worth it, you know, and I'm just going to jump right into it. This is me dropping videos more frequently now, so if you like the content that I'm dropping, I just ask that you like, comment, subscribe. As you see on my last video, I'm very responsive, try to answer questions to the best of my ability, and just I want to hear what you guys are thinking based on what I am putting out there. So straight to it. The realities of being an owner-operator, I'm just gonna say it, I've never seen a rich owner-operator. I've never seen a guy with one truck really get ahead. Not saying that guys with one truck don't succeed, but I rarely see a guy with one single truck come out and say he's rich. And what I mean by that is one single equipment, meaning truck, trailer, one driver, it's tough to get ahead. because anyone that knows in this industry, when you have just one equipment, it is hard, you know. Take it from experience. Once that truck breaks down, not only do you have to cover the cost of repairs, but you also have to factor in lost income, lost revenue. You know, it's really hard to get ahead when the only thing you have, it's what I like to call a rolling liability. I like to tell guys that only have one truck, you're one breakdown away from bankruptcy. You're one accident away from losing it all, you know? So when I tell guys, the reality of it is, if you're gonna be an owner-operator, you gotta really love what you do out here in order to do it. Because the guys that's just doing it for money, you're not gonna make it. I'm gonna tell you straight up, you ain't gonna make it. That first breakdown is gonna also break you down. And you're gonna consider, what's the point of it? You know, you're out here to make money, not to really spend the money. But in order to make it, you're gonna have to spend it. And with one truck, if you're not mechanically inclined, it's gonna be difficult. You're gonna be shelling out a lot of money. Not saying that being an owner-operator is not lucrative. Being an owner-operator is a very good job that pays better than most jobs. You know, and for instance, you know, I had a year where I only worked 10 months and I grossed $250, you know. After all expenses, I was well over the 150 mark for 10 months of work for myself. And when I think about that, it's like, where else am I going to go work 10 months and make that kind of money? You know, where it's not a corporate job. It's a good job, but don't get it twisted. That 1 year was good. The following year almost broke me. You know, making that kind of money, I was shelling out more because now the truck is getting beat up more. The truck is requiring more maintenance, and you know, this is post-COVID. Freight is starting to decline, so that's why I say, from personal experiences, I don't know of a guy that's an owner-operator that's rich. I know guys that are owner-operators that make very good money. Then they take that money and invest it in other things such as real estate, cars. They open up little shops to bring in more money, and then that leads them to become rich. You know, being an owner-operator opens the door for you to make good money than you would at a regular 9-to-5. But what you do with that money can lead to you becoming rich. Now, on the other spectrum, I know a lot of fleet owners that are rich. See, the difference there is a fleet owner has multiple trucks, multiple drivers, multiple sources of income coming in from his trucks, or her trucks, I'm sorry. Fleet owners are the ones that get rich, the guys with more risk, because there is an opportunity that every truck could break at the same time. Rarely happens, but there is that chance that everything can go down at the same time and you're shelling out a lot more money. But predominantly, fleet owners, they tend to make out better than the one truck guy, because one truck could cover the expenses of repairs for all the trucks, whatever that truck grows for the year. That another truck could cover payroll for the year. And let's say the guy has 4 trucks, then the other 2 trucks could cover what goes into that guy's pocket for the year. So imagine if each truck is grossing $250,000 for the year. You're looking at 4 trucks, $1 million for the year. Guy could walk away clean with $500,000 for himself. Now you tell me a guy does that for 10 years. Think about the amount of money he or she can accumulate, you know? So if you want to get rich, my opinion, in trucking, become a fleet owner, but do it the right way. Because a lot of guys think, oh, I'm just going to buy a bunch of trucks, put them on the road, and everything is going to be sweet. It don't work like that. Do your research. Get out here, find out where you can get that freight from, where you can get these dedicated contracts from. Get you a dedicated contract, get you a couple trucks, get you a couple guys leased under you where you take less risk. You know, get you your authority, have your truck running, make your money with your truck, right? Then get you some guys leased under you and get a percentage of their truck. That you're considered a fleet owner then, without having to repair the trucks. Less liability for you, you know? And all my guys that are owner operators, respect the money. That's my only opinion to you guys. Respect that money. You know, it may seem like it's coming in quick right now, but I say respect that money as it comes in. Do good things with that money. Invest that money, because it's a matter of time before you have to shell back out a lot of money to keep that truck on the road or to even buy another piece of equipment. There's going to be a time that the freight slows down. You know, for all the guys that are out here on the road, you understand. There's peak season and there's off-peak season. There's a good 6 to 8 months that freight runs great throughout the year. Then there's 4 months you have to account for that you have to keep your head above water. Manage that money well, that shouldn't be an issue. You know, get you a side hustle as well and reinvest that money. Like me personally, my side hustle is buying and selling cars, flipping cars. Make a little bit of money, go buy 1 or 2 cars with my partner. We get them right, we flip them. So for all my people out here in the Northeast area too, if you need a car, hit me up. But you got that going, because I've learned my lesson from the first time out here. You know, I put my all into one truck and I almost lost it all. That's the reality of it. I almost lost it all, and I was down and out for a while. You know, I did Uber just to kind of get my mind right, because it's like, you know, I don't think I could ever work for someone again. Kind of mentality after being an owner operator. And, you know, eventually you just got to get back out there on the saddle, take another risk, and hope it pays off. But if it's one thing I learned from my mistakes, is to respect that money. It's not going to always keep coming in the same as much as you think it is. And just one major key advice for everybody: money management is important when you're making a lot of money in trucking. Manage that money well. Cut down your overhead. You know, if you can buy your truck cash, buy it cash. If you could pay for your insurance ahead of time, for the whole year, pay for your insurance. Whatever you can do to cut down the monthly expenses and have a limited overhead, I say that will be the difference between you succeeding and failing out here. Now, to all my transporters, keep it between them lines, pedal to the metal, and I'm going to check in with y'all on the next one. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. You know, I'm just going to make sure I try to drop videos more often. Just drop a little bit of my knowledge on you guys and kind of fill you in on my day-to-day. I'm going to get me a new little camera setup where you can get like that point of view kind of videos from me when I'm loading and unloading my trailer. And just for the guys interested in the car hauling thing, you could just see what I see and kind of get your hands or your mind right, thinking if it's for you or not. So I'll tap in with y'all in a bit. Let's get it. Keep hustling. Keep doing what you got to do and keep pushing. You know, one foot in front of the other. That's all we got to do. Yeah, stay safe out there. It's crazy. I come out here, the sun is down, hasn't risen yet. And when I'm going back in, the sun is going down. There's the reality of being a local car hauler. A lot of hours, a lot of moving pieces, different experiences, different days. But you know what? I'll be getting home to my family tonight. Be able to eat dinner at my table. I'll be able to play with my daughter, spend time with my wife, you know. And tomorrow we'll do it all again. It's not a bad gig at all. Not a bad gig. Really love this setup, I have to say. Big screen, seats can lean back. Love the lights on the trailer. just looks beautiful coming down the road. And it's very comfortable to be driving in. Dash cam up there, make sure always protected, covering myself. And I'm local. I use Google Maps for everything. Once in a while I might have to pull out that Garmin truck GPS, but for the most part, that's my go-to, along with Waze, where I can go ahead and spot them troopers, DOT, before they spot me. You know what I mean?